Good evening and welcome to the NewsHour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Now, can celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi on a ground that is accessible to the public otherwise lead to religious tensions? That is the question that Supreme Court will be answering tomorrow as it hears the Karnataka Waqf Board's objection to Chaturthi celebrations at Chamrajpet Eidgah Maidan. This comes after the Karnataka High Court invoked our civilizational values to permit the state government to allow Hindu groups to hold celebrations, emphasizing on India's tolerant outlook towards culture and tradition as a reason for its decision. The Waqf Board is now seeing red over this green light, claiming that the ground belongs to the board, a claim that has been countered by the state. Now, the government insists that the ownership of disputed land does not lie with the Waqf Board and court orders must reign supreme, but the opposition disagrees.
मुझे लगता है ऐसा नहीं होगा। गणेश फेस्टिवल बहुत ज़बरदस्ती से हर जगह में होगा। कोर्ट न्याय दिया है, सभी कोर्ट का न्याय पालन करने का ज़रूरत है। हम भी पालन करेंगे, वक्फ बोर्ड भी पालन करेंगे।
See, it is a very sensitive issue. We all know that Eidgah was there for last, as a child I've been seeing Eidgah, it is there for last 40, 50, 60 years, and right now the title of Eidgah, whether it belongs to Waqf Board or it belongs to the Revenue Department, it belongs to BBMP, it is absolutely unsure. So Waqf Board has absolutely all the right to go to the court. But however, we would like to say that this has to be resolved at a personal level. Both the communities have to come forward.
Even as the ownership dispute is pending in court, here's why the Waqf's decision to contest the High Court's order reeks of inflexibility and parochialism. The High Court has made it clear that the land must be utilized for Republic Day and Independence Day celebrations. It must also be open for the public and has only allowed Muslims to use the land to celebrate Ramzan and Bakrid. In fact, 3 days back, the division bench of the High Court had left the decision of land use for religious events to the discretion of the state. So the question now is, if public places are being utilized for religious activities like Muharram, Namaz, and that is acceptable, why is permission for Ganesh Chaturthi raising hackles?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, our guests are joining us. With us is Mohan Krishna, spokesperson of the BJP. Anurag Naidu, author, is with us. With us also is Shoaib Jamai, president of the Indian Muslim Foundation. Tausif Ahmed is an advocate. Atikur Rahman is an Islamic scholar. And Kamruzaman Chaudhary is leader of the Congress. Let me start with Atikur Rahman. Atikur Rahman, simple question to you. You know what the High Court has said. The High Court has spoken about fostering brotherhood and peace. And in such a situation, why should such a judgment be objected to? Because all that the High Court has said is that everyone should be flexible and they've left it to the discretion of the state government. Is that something that can really be objected to?
Madhav, pardon my ignorance, but I want to know: is this the final outcome of the judgment? Is this the final judgment? I believe it is a sub judice matter and it's an interim relief. And if it is an interim relief, as far as my knowledge goes of law, interim relief cannot be larger than the outcome of the final judgment. So if it is sub judice, how can only one community, and that too, we are in the know of the things that elections are pending in Karnataka, and the Karnataka government is coming day in and day out with all such communal issues.
Okay.
So in this way, there will be a wide divide between the Muslims and the Hindus.
No, but the Supreme Court is yet to adjudicate on this matter, sir. The court is going to take up this matter on the 30th. That is, of course, tomorrow. But until the time that the court either grants a stay or gives some kind of interim order, that is the law. That is what the High Court has said.
That's the point. That's the point, Madhav. Madhav, the interim relief should not be larger than the ultimate outcome of the petitions. That's problematic.
But that's fine.
That's the judiciary somehow,
See, nobody can second guess what the Supreme Court is going to do. Neither neither you can nor can I. But at this point of time, all we are saying is that if the court has spoken, I just want to read out what the court has said. It's very, very important. The Constitution fosters brotherhood amongst various sections of society. The principle of religious toleration is a characteristic of Indian civilization. Now, when this is a High Court saying this, certainly it has to be given some amount of importance, I would say. But anyway, all eyes on the Supreme Court. Let me bring in Mohan Krishna of the BJP on this. Mohan Krishna, you're only raising this matter before the courts. It's in a series of incidents, as Atikur Rahman says, to polarize, to divide in the name of religion. That is the allegation coming in from Atikur Rahman. Please respond to him.
Good evening, Madhav. Atikur Rahman has to remember certain things. Whenever certain elections are there round the corner, this kind of polarization issue is started by these people. High Court in its order has clearly said from 31(8) onwards, it can be used for religious purposes. There were some petitions, there were some applications. Deputy Commissioner has applied, has requested the High Court. As per that, the order has been given. I would like to ask a simple question to Atikur Rahman today. Is it not the Ganapati festival an Indian festival, Mr. Atikur Rahman? Are you not an Indian today? Why are you so opposed today? Let me ask you a simple, another question to you.
Okay.
Mr. Atikur Rahman, if the Maidan, if the playground is there, if it can be used for anybody for that matter, is there any religious constraints for that? That's not there. You agree, then
Fine.
Okay.
I will ask you another question.
Okay.
The board have been given
Okay, one second.
ample of time. by
Multiple hands going up. Shoaib Jamai, I see your hand, but I'm going to let Atikur Rahman respond first because Mohan Krishna has addressed the question to him. Atikur Rahman.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Mohan Krishna, you have asked a very pertinent question that the entire ground should be used by all communities. By the same yardstick, Mr. Krishna, why have you barred the Muslim shopkeepers from outside the mandirs? It was your circular, your objection, even to the meat shop
please talk
of the
about
Muslims
this Maidan.
in around the area of the
You are supposed
mandirs
to talk
and the
about
temples.
this, not
Are
about
Muslims a part
that.
and
You go
parcel
to
of
the court
same
for that
society?
also.
Sir, you are creating
Mr.
a divide
Atikur Rahman.
amongst the major communities of India. You are polarizing, and it's only
We
for
are
your
not
benefit
dividing.
of electoral politics
We are not dividing.
that you are doing
you are,
so.
You are upset with your own decisions. See, you are in India and you should follow the Indian
Sir, okay,
Indian
then you
law
will be
and
allowing
order.
the Muslim shopkeepers
Indian
and
law and order,
outside
High Court has
temples.
said that
the matter
you
is
can
okay.
utilize it
The
for
matter is resolved,
religious
sir.
purposes for
Madam,
anybody for
ask
that
him-
matter. Is it only for
Madam,
Hamas
ask
and
him, will
Idgah?
the state government permit all the Muslim shopkeepers doing business outside
Okay.
the temples?
Let me come in now.
Let me come in now.
We have Ratan Sharda also joining us on the panel. Gentlemen, 1 second. I see many hands going up, but there are many panelists yet to speak. So let me go across to others as well, one by one. Let me first and foremost address this issue with Shoaib Jamai. Shoaib Jamai, there is one aspect that the BJP has spoken about, which is that this is land and its ownership of the Waqf itself is being challenged. Because here you have the state government that says that this is revenue land, that an opportunity was given by the BBMP for the Waqf to prove its ownership over this land, and they were given about a month and a half, but they could not produce documents of ownership. And the government is now claiming that this is revenue land. So Waqf cannot claim ownership over this land, is their contention that they've gone to the court with.
First of all, everyone should know that there is a
Waqf Act, and the jurisdiction of the Waqf land is very limited. Waqf land is not taxpayers, does not run by the taxpayers' money. Waqf land is not a public property, because Waqf means the donation, and all the Waqf land has been donated by the Muslim community for the welfare of the Muslim community. It's a
No, but this is
specific
not Waqf
jurisdiction
land, is
of
what
the
I'm saying.
Waqf
That's exactly the point I'm making. The government's contention is that this is not Waqf land. This belongs to the revenue department. That is the contention that the BJP and the government is making.
No, there may be some discrete cases of that some land belongs to the Waqf board or not, that's the another matter. But if somebody generalized that why don't you allow the Ganpati celebration or other celebration in the Waqf land, that's why I specifically said what is the use of the Waqf land and what is the jurisdiction. And the second thing,
we can't generalize this case. This is exactly, these are all material to this particular case. One second.
It's misleading.
One second. Let me, Shoaib Jamai, let me just make it very clear. We are discussing a very specific case over here. We are discussing the Eidgah Maidan in Chamarajpet in Bengaluru. And that specific case is what we're talking about, where the court has said that apart from 4 days where Ramzan and Eid can be celebrated, and also the days of Republic Day and Independence Day, all other days it will remain a playground. And therefore the question that comes with the state government being empowered by the High Court to allow for Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations is that why should that not happen? Why can both sides not, in the spirit of brotherhood, come out and allow for the celebrations of each other's religion? Since there is a unique case over here.
Yeah, I know about this Chamarajpet, that land, because I stayed in Bangalore for 5 years and I knew about it, that this is the Waqf land, and the interim relief given by the Supreme Court is itself a reflection that there is some strong point with the petitioner from the Muslim side. And the second very important point, does this
what is the relief given,
secularism means creating...
I'm sorry, is there any relief that has been given today? I'm not aware of this relief that you're talking about. What is the relief that the court has given?
No, Madhav, he is lying. He is lying to the
One second,
country.
Mohan Krishna. I'm asking him the question. Yeah. Please tell us what is the relief granted by the Supreme Court today? In your view.
Supreme Court has allowed to challenge this matter of High Court in Supreme Court.
Okay, so the Supreme Court is going to hear this. Supreme Court is going to hear this. Relief at the moment has not been given. Okay, just to get the facts right. Yes.
Very important point I want to ask. Just give me 10 seconds. Sir, just want to ask you one thing. There is a Ram Mandir temple and there is acres of land which belongs to Ram Mandir and Akhada Parishad. Will you allow Eid celebration in Ram Mandir temple or in Akhada Parishad land? You have objected in Bihar when a Muslim minister in Bihar have visited a temple in Gaya, and the BJP wing of the Bihar has objected strongly to it. How will you say that you are following the secularism and the brotherhood concept of the country?
Okay.
You are not following, sir. You are doing your own. You are creating a rift and tension.
The problem here is the difference of ownership. There's a slightly different scenario over here. But all right. Yeah, I'm going to let Anurag Naidu respond to that. I'm going to let Anurag Naidu come in on this. Anurag Naidu, this will open up a can of worms. The question will be asked the other way around also. Shoaib Jamai says. Please respond to him. Can the cases be compared? Can Ram Temple issue and this case be compared?
No, absolutely not. That's the mistake we are doing time and again, Madhav, and that's why we're never able to kind of go forward from this communal debates and discussions. The only reason is whenever we talk categorically about one case, we always try to link up with multiple cases which are far more different in nature. This particular case, leaving about all the litigations and the legal complications, everyone understands and everyone agrees that it is a conflict of title in the Supreme Court. It is a matter of ownership, and I don't want to say this land has a religious importance or not. It's for the courts to comment on this, and it is sub judice. But let me complete, sir. It's a different issue. The conflict was whether there was a mosque and it was brought down a temple. I don't want to get into that. About this land, it was a very legitimate argument by one side that has gone to the High Court, and High Court has given certain decision. We are awaiting judgment from the Supreme Court. I am saying, why should we not, all of us together, advocate for celebrating? Let this land be used for Ramadan. Let this land be used for, iftars. Let this land, the same land be used for Ganesh Chaturthi. What's wrong? Why can't we have a secular or a brotherhood? Why can't we all promote? Why don't we have discussions this line? And why do we go back to other cases and try to inflate emotions, try to incite passions? That's not what India stands for.
All these days, there was only namaz and Bakrid.
Gentlemen, one by one, please. One by one. There are several who have not yet spoken. I'm going to come to each of you.
Why the other community also?
Okay. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary. Now, what was very... One second, gentlemen, please. There is enough time. Let's go one by one. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, simple question that is being asked at this point of time is that this is not a dispute that has started today. The contestation of this property was first challenged in 1955, and there was a gazette notification in 65 that was issued, but the board did not claim the khata, which could have been done within 3 years of the court verdict, and therefore the ownership is a subject of debate. So the question that I'm saying today, the only point I'm making today is that this is not a new debate. There are many who suggest that this is some kind of a new aspect that has been brought in by the BJP, but the contention is that this has happened before as well, and it is not a new dispute in that sense.
Well, Madhav, good evening to you and the fellow panelist out here. Let me just remind you that this dispute, as you have stated, is from 1955. But as far as my knowledge goes, this Idgah existed from 1898. And in 1965, the Gazette notification that you mentioned is already there. In most important moot point, whatever be the title dispute or who owns the land, whether it is the Waqf Board land or the Revenue Department land, once an Idgah has already been declared in the Gazette notification, this remains a places of religious worship. Now this remains as a religious places worship and it's protected by the 1991 Places of Religious Worship Act. This is the first point. Second point is that you just remember the last 25th judgment that the High Court, Honorable High Court gave, a status quo be maintained on this particular property. Immediately on the next day, that is today, the division bench immediately changed and overturned the entire ruling and said that, okay, this needs to be a public property. It can be used by anybody. I'm fine. I don't have any problem with that. But you need to see through the games of the Bharatiya Janata Party government out here. I'm not talking about the Karnataka government alone out here. You look, if you want to declare India as a Hindu Rashtra, we don't have any problem. Go ahead and declare it. You said minorities don't have right to worship. Minorities don't have any right in this India.
Okay.
That also is fine, but
Ratan Sharda. I want Ratan Sharda to come in on this point. Okay, you made your point, sir. Let Ratan Sharda come in on this. Ratan Sharda, allegation was twofold. A, that if there is a gazette notification, Kamru Zaman Chaudhary's interpretation is that that has already been declared a place of worship. So there is some attempt at changing that status quo. And of course, his direct charge is that minorities are not being allowed worship. Please respond on these counts.
First of all, when namaz is offered in a temple and offered the space by the Hindus, everybody cheers, right?
जैसे secularism हो गया, गंगा जमुना हो गया, बहुत कुछ हो गया. When Ganesh Mandap is sought to be put in a Idgah, how does it change the character? It's just 10-day function. Even Idgah Maidan has been allowed to be used only twice a year, for Ramzan and Eid. So what do you do for the balance 363 days? Aren't people using it? If you think that we can live together, why can't the Maidan be used by the Hindus for a temporary function? What is your problem? So Hindus should keep away from the Maidan, though they are going to use only for 2 days, whose ownership is under dispute. I am not even getting to legal issues. Hindu Rashtra, no Hindu Rashtra. Under Hindu Rashtra, as somebody...
One at a time, please. Let him make his point. Let him finish.
Unnecessarily. Don't shout.
Go ahead, Mr. Sharda. Go ahead.
I am making a simple point. If this is so, Madras High Court has said Muslims objected to a Ganesh idol in an area where majority is Muslim. Now the High Court says, seek the permission of the Jamaat from there if you want to host a Ganesh function. This is about secularism, that High Court will also allow, only the Muslim brothers allow. Are we living in a banana republic? Are we living in banana secularism or real secularism? Please tell me, do you agree with that? That in a Muslim majority area, I have to seek permission. Do you ask Muslims to seek permission for a Hindu majority area for taking out a taziya or whatever? We never object. If you say this is a sacred place, then why do you offer namaz on the roads? Are roads very sacred? Are the roads permanent worship place then? So please don't make incorrigible arguments.
Okay.
It's a space which can be shared very easily without disturbing.
One sec. Shoaib Jamai.
One second. Yeah. We are just creating discord because you want to put your veto power. Again, Madras High Court judgment, reason.
Okay.
They've also gone to Supreme Court for one more case where the situation is a permitted activity for some limited period.
Yes.
They've gone to Supreme Court.
Right.
So you
Right.
don't want to live in peace. You don't
Well,
want to
the court
share
has to. The court is yet to
equal
adjudicate.
happiness.
The Supreme Court
You
yet to
want to
adjudicate on this.
create
Ratan Sharda, but
problems
important
for
point that
them.
you made, a very important point. I'm going to take in Tausif Ahmed on this as well. Tausif Ahmed, I think Ratan Sharda has one point. He says that it is not an area where there is exclusive rights to pray with the Muslim community. That's there just for 2 days in a year. So what is the harm if Ganesh Chaturthi is also allowed there? Because this is not exclusively a place where only Muslims can worship. That is the contention of Ratan Sharda. Please respond to that.
It is an exclusive place.
One second.
No,
Sir. Yeah.
Mr. Ratan Sharda either he has a very flawed understanding, or he is trying to be so innocent. If you were talking about a road, a street where namaz is offered, then yes, all people of all faith has right to hold their religious gathering as well in road or street. But this particular property is a waqf property. This particular property is a defined Eidgah.
That is what is challenged, sir.
Eidgah,
That itself is under dispute.
Which is owned
We just
by
discussed
Muslim
that.
community.
Even if it is waqf party, why can't you allow?
I don't like this. No, please do not interrupt me. Please do not interrupt me. Let me finish. Give me uninterrupted 30 seconds. I am saying if it was about a street or a road, or people of all faith have equal rights. But if today we are talking about Eidgah, which is a property owned by Muslim landlord, dedicated in the name of Allah for the welfare of the community. Then earmarked as an Eidgah where prayers will be offered during the Eid, and rest of the year it is used as a playground. It is a very well defined and established concept
So
of
you
law.
can have a playground,
Mr. Sarda may
but you
have not
cannot
studied
have
the
a
law,
Ganesh mandap.
or Mr. Sarda
This
may
is
choose to
nothing
be
but
biased
liberty.
today. But that does not
Why you
change
can
it.
have a
That does
playground,
not change it.
but not have a Ganesh
Mr.
mandap there?
Sarda may
Why do you hate Hindus so much?
India.
Why do you hate Hindus so much?
Hindu Rashtra.
Why can't Hindus have a mandap if you can allow the play? Are Hindus accepting? Are Hindus demanding the right over the land? No, they are not demanding the right over the land. They are asking allow us standards of festivities. So your secularism is only for Muslims, but not for Hindus. So harmony has to be kept by the Hindus, not by the Muslims. If your waqf property, would you not give it to Hindu brothers if you want to offer namaz in Gurudwara or in temple?
Clear case. No. Go and use the streets and roads. It belongs to everyone. Public property is for
even
everyone.
ground, if you can give it to for play, why can't you give it for Ganpati Mandap? And did you answer why a Hindu has to gain permission of Muslim Jamaat in an area where Muslims are majority? What is the secularism of the secularism? Where I have to seek permission because there is majority Muslim? Have you answered that? Have you answered why Hindus cannot have a Ganpati because the area is majority Muslim? Are we living in India or are we living in Pakistan?
Okay. Let me come in now. Let me come in on this now, and I want to ask some questions of the other side as well. Because a state government, Mohan Krishna, many would say that there is a deliberate attempt at polarization. We have seen the hijab row, we have seen the azan row. We are now seeing there's a meat ban that has been announced in Ganesh Chaturthi, and now this entire dispute over Eidgah Maidan. So there are several people who are saying that all this is done with a view to next year's elections. There's an attempt to polarize by the state government on the BJP. Please respond to that specific charge.
You forgot about the Savarkar issue also.
Madhav,
all right,
let me answer to you categorically. We are not here to seek votes on polarization issue. This is the other people who are doing. Congress and JDS, they are fighting for Muslim vote bank. They are fighting for that. Let me ask a simple question to them today.
But Congress and JDS did not go to the High Court, sir. Your government went.
How can... Let me answer, Madhav. Our government, on the petitions, on the applications received by the people, they have gone to the court and they have requested. They have just said, tomorrow it should not be a problem, saying that why people have not, government has not said this. They have gone. Court has given the order. If the court has said no, we have to go as per the status quo. We would have gone by that. Government of the day is here to implement the law, whatever the High Court gives the order. High Court or the Supreme Court for that matter. We accept that judiciary is intelligent. Why not these people understand? Why not these people understand? This intelligent.
हाई कोर्ट ने कहा कि लाउड स्पीकर से आजान देना किसी के अधिकार का हनन नहीं करता है।
ईदगाह मैदान, ईदगाह is given by them.
Now that Supreme Court has already said that there are decibel levels.
Not given by the government.
Shoaib Jamai, decibel levels the Supreme Court has already adjudicated on. We know that. That is settled law.
Court has allowed to do Ganesh Chaturthi and now it's been challenged in Supreme Court. Now you say that if the court has said Karnataka court has said if loudspeaker se azan dena kisi ke
when you can do namaz on the street,
so
why can't you allow even if it is tomorrow?
राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए.
Don't you want harmony? Is it a one way? One way you want to ask for the people?
Okay, Atikur Rahman wants to come in on that. Atikur Rahman. All right. Mohan Krishna. Atikur Rahman wants to come in on that. Atikur Rahman.
Look at the paradox.
What is the paradox?
Look at the paradox, Madhav. The people who do not allow 10-minute Friday prayers, they are demanding in the name of secularism, which they do not believe, a 10-day Ganesh Chaturthi festival on the Eidgah Maida.
Who has stopped Friday prayers, sir?
And a double speak.
Who has stopped Friday prayers?
In the name of secularism, we
No, 1 second. Let's go one by one. It's a very serious charge you are leveling here.
They have claimed Friday prayers on streets as a land jihad.
No, they are saying.
Friday prayers for them is a land jihad for them.
Okay, Anurag Naidu, if Friday prayers are land jihad, then how can this be allowed? How can this be allowed as a contention of Atiq Ahmed? Please, Atikur Rahman, please respond to him.
Madhav, just as you rightly said, he has to first justify when did anyone say that Friday namaz was something wrong. No, we do give you every freedom and we do give you every right to pray. But the point is here, time and again, the contentions or the kind of point that you're trying to make is this land belongs to what? If it is for the courts and the High Court and the Supreme Court and the courts of the country and the law of the land to decide, and till that time, this matter is sub judice, and whatever court decides, even now, one side, if it's kind of rejoicing that they've got a verdict on their side, it is on the basis of a High Court's decision, not that, they felt that, I need to go there and set up a pandal or a mandal. Now, tomorrow, if the Supreme Court stucks it down, we will accept it wholeheartedly. We will accept it. Nobody is going to reject anything because we believe in the law of land. We believe in the courts of the country.
Absolutely. If we believe in the courts of the country, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, then let's wait for the Supreme Court to come out and give its decision on this. Because as of now, we have to go by what the High Court has said. Because that is the only order that we have before us at the moment.
Wait, let me just tell you. Was there any pressure group that Ganesh festival has to be offered on that particular land if it was not celebrated earlier years? Now this particular point that they have to observe Ganesh Chaturthi on this particular ground.
Sir, in a crowded city area, if there is a Maidan, and obviously there would be demand for an open Maidan to be used for festivities.
When you accepted, Madhav, when you accept that this is sub judice matter, and it has to be
that's a demand
heard by the Supreme Court.
1 second, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, there's a demand. Certain groups have made a demand on the basis of which the state government went to the court. The court has given the state government the permission. Now that has been challenged before the Supreme Court. Now that has been challenged before the Supreme Court.
These particular groups, why suddenly out of the blue they are coming today and in order to disturb the peace of Karnataka.
This is the exact point I was addressing earlier, Kamruzaman Chaudhary. The dispute is from 55. It is not something that is coming up today. Ratan Sharda, it's an attempt to disturb the status quo. Why are these groups coming up today? That's the question that is coming from Kamruzaman Chaudhary.
Why Ganesh Mandal creates communal tension? Please tell me. Why? Why should Ganesh Mandal create communal disharmony? Has it ever happened? No, sir. Why? This is what you want. You don't want Hindu Muslims to stay together, work together, celebrate together. That doesn't want them to create partitions where they cannot share each other place or whatever. And you are saying communal tension क्यों भैया? मद्रास में communal tension हो जाएगा. High Court बोलता है क्योंकि Muslim majority है. Hindu majority area में why there is no tension? Why tension is always a Muslim majority area? Are they claiming the land? No. They just want a good place where more people can come together for 10 days, but you can't allow that. So all this Ganga Jamuna flows only for Muslims. Hindus must be remaining a desert. That is your attitude. The way you are responding, it clearly shows you don't want harmony. You will create artificial tension. You will create artificial communal disturbances, and you will start claiming that only we have a right. Sorry, this will not work.
You know, one important point, and I want to just remind our viewers that the same Ganesh Chaturthi was actually used by Lokmanya Tilak to fight for our independence, and then it was a symbol of people coming together. Tausif Ahmed, what has happened that something that was used on a common uniting factor against the British, how has that become something of a symbol that is dividing our society? That's something that's part of our shared history. Surely you have also read that. You also know about the importance of Ganesh Chaturthi in our freedom struggle in parts of central and southern India. Why has that now become such a point of contention? And is it a point of contention, or has it been made one?
Absolutely, I agree with you. The letter, I would expect that this dispute that is being trying to create in line with Ayodhya dispute, the BJP government of Karnataka is trying to have some kind of Bangalore's Ayodhya dispute, that people will wake up. Both communities, people will come and say that do not infringe upon the rights of minorities. The land belonging to minorities, do not go and forcefully grab that land. That is against the principles of their own religion as well. And I'm sure there are thousands of Ganesh devotees who will offer land elsewhere. I'm sure there are thousands of Ganesh devotees in the city of Bengaluru itself who will offer money to purchase a separate land and build a new temple elsewhere, rather than trying to grab a Muslim land, rather than trying to convert that to another Ganesh temple. And we must pray for that. We must expect that good sense will prevail over the people of Bengaluru city, and they will find a middle way.
Okay, yeah, Mohan Krishna wants to make a point to you. Mohan Krishna is appealing to you. Yes, Mohan Krishna.
Mr. Mohan Krishna,
I would like to ask a simple question as Ratan Chadha ji was asking.
And
they have enjoyed it for so many years. Now the BBMP and the High Court has given the order. Let us do it for 10 days. If Supreme Court says tomorrow, we are ready to accept the order. Why not they accept that the High Court order today and say that our brothers are performing Ganesha festival? This was started during pre-independence day by Bal Gangadhar Tilak, for nationalizing the issue and making India as one. Are they not Indians today? Because we are different communities? Do you mean to say that we are different?
Okay, Shoaib Jamai, if they could come together pre-independence, if Indians, Hindus and Muslims could come together pre-independence, what stops us from coming together 75 years since we have been a republic?
Yes, Madhav.
Absolutely.
In pre-independence era, everyone knows that what is the contribution of the Muslim community and the leaders for the independent struggle, and how empty and what are their allegations.
What is this? So today there is no contribution.
Alignment with the British.
What is the point you are making? And how is it relevant to this debate?
No. RSS was not part of the freedom struggle, so they cannot claim about the pre-independence.
My dear sir,
that's for very sure.
My dear sir, we are discussing Eidgah Maidan. Let's stick to the Eidgah Maidan, please. Otherwise, we will have a freewheeling debate. Everybody will talk about issues that are close to their heart. Stick to Eidgah Maidan, please. I've asked you a specific question in context of Eidgah Maidan. Let's stick to that, please.
Yes, Madhav, please allow me. In a larger aspect, I want to request to all the clerics and the masjid community in the pan-India that start legalizing all the lands and make sure that all documents are rectified, because this is the next policy of the BJP and RSS, to grab your land, make it dispute all the religious structure of the Muslims and their land. So it is very important for the Muslim community to make sure कि आप अपने सारे documents, सारी structure, सारी
does that criticism hold? Anurag Naidu, does that criticism hold at all? We're almost out of time. Quick closing comments from Anurag Naidu. Quick closing comments.
No, absolutely. When we give a platform like this on national media, the last thing that we would do is speak something like that, Madhav, because we were having a very legitimate discussion on one Maidan, and the conflicts surrounding this topic, but we cannot generalize it and use this platform to incite fashion. That is something that we should all refrain, because the debate has been very, logical, and let us agree and wait for the Supreme Court decision on this.
I'm sorry I have to interrupt because we are completely out of time, gentlemen. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Mohan Krishna, Anurag Naidu, Shoaib Jamai, Tausif Ahmed, Atikur Rahman, Kamruzaman Chaudhary and Ratan Sharda. Clearly, of course, all eyes will be on the Supreme Court and which way they adjudicate on this extremely sensitive matter. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for joining us this evening.